that's shown to me from what we do on the show, what we do from a firm. And I think it's very important that we impact and look out for. It's about the employees. It's about the clients. It's also about the listeners. And I think about this from a very long view of looking out for all of you. And it is about my family and my extended family as well, and how I think about this. And that's why I've been proactive for years with the MDVIP, and we still do that program and taking that to another level with Fountain Life. And being proactive, if I have a problem, I want to find out about it and how can we resolve it. And that doesn't mean at any time do I, and there's been a couple other things that happened to me. I was having kidney stones for a while there, and that's a horrible thing, but there was something causing that had to be corrected, and when that was corrected, which it involved surgery that I was under for a number of hours to correct that, and they did, and the kidney stones stopped. But also, if I hadn't corrected that, my life was not going to be well, and I was not going to live for a long time. And it was corrected. Why? Because of something being monitored and proactive, and that basically was discovered and monitored through my end at this time. So we've caught it early, stage 1, the negative is as an aggressive cancer. So once again, I'm not going to dawdle at this time. Stage 1, the negative is an aggressive. It was scored as seemed like that doctor had too many patients. You get what I mean? It's his practice about doing as much as he can. Seemed like that doctor had too many patients. You get what I mean? Seemed like that doctor had too many patients. It seemed to kind of be like his practice about doing as much as he can. That caused me pause. And then our doctor out of Dallas said, had that conversation looking at all the medical tests that I had at that point to see if I was a candidate for his procedure while conversation. So it was a very thorough, deep conversation, and he said, let me absorb this and I'll let you know if we can move forward. And I think it was next day we had a follow-up conversation, and he agreed that I was a candidate to move forward, and we set up a few weeks later to go to Houston and have laser ablation inside of a 3T MRI, and it turns out that's not a fun procedure, but it didn't involve the removal of my prostate. It basically involved destroying part of my prostate to get rid of the cancer, and which was probably about a 4.5 hour procedure inside of an 3T MRI. And when we had the pre-interview with him in Houston, we asked him to be aggressive, to go into the margins, but there would be some side effects of that. Of course there is. You're affecting some nerves, you're destroying some of the prostate. And we gave him permission to be aggressive, because one thing is make sure you get all the cancer. So I don't know, at this point we're a month into me knowing that I have prostate cancer. So had the procedure done. On the follow-up, he went through the MRI, showed us the screens and all, and he said the cancer's gone. And he said, I don't know about any cells or anything floating around there inside of you. I can't do anything about that, but that cancer is gone, which made us feel good. We'd see what the side effects were afterwards from that standpoint. At that point, I was wearing a catheter, which was not fun, and I think I had to wear that 2-3 weeks if I have the timeline right. But there's a couple other things we've done since that. So you hear the music. In the next segment, I will wrap up this story. Hopefully it helps you, and we'll talk about some financial stuff for the remainder of the show. So we're going to take a, 3-minute break, and I'll finish the story up for you. Be right back.
Winning at Life with Gregory Ricks is a copyright of Down South Strategies for the private use of our audience. Any unauthorized use of this broadcast without express consent is prohibited. For podcasts, show information, and contacts to our sponsors, go to winningatlife.com or download the Winning at Life app. If you have a financial situation and you're not quite sure what to do, you better call Gregory. We are Winning at Life with Gregory Ricks.
Cancer Crusaders has been raising funds for cancer research in New Orleans since 1978. Cancer Crusaders Incorporated is a non-profit, all-volunteer organization with no administrative overhead. Cancer Crusaders has raised over $5 million for the local cancer research centers, LSU Stanley S. Scott Cancer Center and Tulane Cancer Center in New Orleans, where they are working on a cure for cancer. Get involved, donate, volunteer, or attend a fundraiser. Visit us at cancercrusadersla.org.
What does your ideal retirement look like? Is it traveling the world, fishing whenever you want, spending time with the grandkids, or maybe you don't know yet? Hi, I'm Gregory Ricks. Let us help you plan the retirement you deserve. Give us a call or go to gregoryricks.com to schedule a visit. We are Gregory Ricks & Associates, the Total Wealth Authority.
The firm provides insurance services, investment, and advisory services. Offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC. AE Wealth Management, LLC, and Gregory Ricks & Associates are not affiliated companies.
Half of estate planning is having a plan put together for your loved ones when you pass away. The other half of estate planning is dealing with someone else's plan when they pass away. Sometimes they have a great plan, but sometimes you need a little help. Don't leave your loved ones in a bind. Call me, and we'll make sure you have a plan. Hi, I'm Wes Blanchard, an estate planning attorney in Metairie. What's your plan? Find me at wjblanchardlaw.com.
You all are so good. I've listened to you for years.
Ask Gregory is a financial podcast from the guys who bring you Winning at Life with Gregory Ricks.
I am near retirement, and I wish I would have been listening to y'all for the last couple of years.
Learn the ins, outs, do's, don'ts, rules, and tools of the financial world.
I have a broker. He has no idea what you and I just talked about.
To your pension, to your Social Security, to your Medicare.
Hi, Greg. Appreciate your service to the community.
From your ETFs to your precious metals.
Your program helps to ground me. There's some personal, real life there.
Find the Ask Gregory podcast on the Winning at Life app, the iHeartRadio app, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. And wherever else you can find podcasts, probably.
That's exactly what I needed to know. Hey, I love your show.
Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC. The firm is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
You're listening to Winning at Life. I'm your host, Gregory Ricks. A little bit different content today. I'm going to get to some financial stuff that I promised in our notation of what we were covering in the show, but I didn't signal that I was covering me in the show today. So if you're just tuning in, bringing you up to speed on my medical philosophy, being proactive, the firm, so about the clients, having trust in that we're doing right for ourselves so we can take care of them and look out for them. I owe it to my family to be proactive and open as well, and I'm open with you here today the long-time listeners of the show. Some of you new listeners there. But Dr. K said he would do the procedure. We went over, had the procedure done, 4.5 hours for the laser ablation. The follow-up, he said, the cancer's gone. Now, there could be some cancer cells floating around out there and such. He couldn't do anything about that, but that was on the prostate, was gone. Another firm we were connected with, Stacy and I, is Lamati. They have some unique things that they do also, and they had a blood therapy procedure a week after I go into detail about that. It was a 3-day therapy, 4.5 hours per therapy, and basically is kind of similar to a dialysis, and but basically filtering my entire system of blood would run through this machine about 12 times, and did it 3 days. And that was to basically cleanse my blood was the objective. Me being proactive, wanting every chance to have my body heal in a way to do that. I'll tell you, day 3 was pretty tough there. I got the chills and stuff, and they had to put heated blankets on me because I was in a bed, and couldn't get out of it during that procedure, so it was kind of good that I was wearing a catheter at that time. But I got through that, left that facility, went to their other facility that was in San Diego for some treatments that following day. And then I've been on the road to healing since then, and a week after the catheter came out, and don't have any incontinence and stuff. I have been doing great since then. Now, there's some other doctors involved. My Fountain Life doctor's still involved on some treatments, using a doctor out of Ohio for some post-treatment therapies, another oncologist that we've talked to over in Washington State. So that's kind of what's going on with me. So I've got other checkups upcoming, seeing Dr. K again in a few weeks. We're going to do an MRI, look for everything. I've been through a lot of PSA tests, and those PSAs have come in really low and consistent, so there's monitoring going forward. It isn't like I've never had cancer, because I have. So our objective is to be healthy going forward, and if there's problems, when do I want to know about it? Kind of like yesterday, if you know what I mean. So ongoing, I don't live life like I've never had cancer, but I live life like I've had cancer and don't want it back again. We have no guarantees, but we can be proactive and find out what's going on with me. So when folks have questioned about what's going on with me, or worried about me, or the best ofs, my health, there's some of the reasoning why we've run more best ofs this year, because I'm busy doing some recovery from treatment and traveling a little bit for treatments as well, and needing a break as well. For the firm, You probably didn't notice anything. Those that are clients and such, you don't notice anything because I'm there. I'm doing my job of running that organization and hiring people and improving what we do. And I'm there on a daily basis. More of what was impacted was the radio show from a best of standpoint. But with that said, I feel great. I feel healthy. I don't feel like I've ever had cancer. I think some of the things related to the prostate and stuff, I feel better than previous about. And I don't know where it goes, but I'll tell you what, I'm always going to be proactive and make sure that I'm healthy. I do that for myself. I do that for the show. With that said, I'll add a little bit more disclosures to that. MD VIP I don't think was unreasonable in cost, but it costs more. And some people might not be willing to spend that extra money for that. Fountain Life, significant cost. And health insurance doesn't pay for the MD VIP fee. It don't pay for Fountain Life's fee. And my firm does not pay for that. That comes out of my pay that I pay for that. The treatments and such that I've had, you know what was covered? Prostate surgery, cancer, radiation. That's covered by insurance. The things I elected not to do. The things that I elected to do, for full disclosure, was not paid by my insurance. Wrote a check for that. It was expensive. I feel good about my decisions there. And that takes us to the financial point of why you need to have emergency money, why you need to save money, why you need to accumulate wealth. And that doesn't mean that you've got to become a multimillionaire or something, but you've got to accumulate money to where you have emergency money, that if something you need to have done and you need to write a check for it, whether it's helping one of your kids or fixing your house or fixing your health, you've got access to some money. And I think a core number for emergency money here, this is how I think. I think it's $50,000 in retirement is what the emergency account should have. Does everybody have that? No. But that is my thought. It's relative to your situation. And we have clients with less in their emergency bucket. We have clients with more. We have clients at that level. But that's my thinking on that. And then you've got to build up assets, and then you've got to have assets if we're having the perfect game plan. Now let's say not perfect, the reasonable game plan for retirement. Emergency money, adequate assets to kick out income and meet inflationary increases and meet end-of-life costs, that you don't run out of money before you die. You may not leave a lot behind because how these things play out, but you need to have that and you need to accumulate that. That's how I live life, which gives me the ability sometimes, well, I had to write a check out of the grid because I was not willing to do the cut, burn, and poison, not necessarily all in that order. I don't know what order, but they were wanting to cut it out, then poison and burn, and I was not willing to go there with what the side effects. There had to be a better way. Yeah, turns out there is, just not covered. I think medicine's going to change drastically over the coming decades, over the coming years, and decades for the better. I think what's going on in Washington is going to help with that. But that's why you need to save money. If you're 20-something listening to this, you need to save money. If you're 40-something, you need to save something. If you're 60-something, you need to be prudent with your money the rest of the way through the rest of your life, however long that is, whether it's 5 years or 30 more years. You need to do good work, and you need to work with the right people that understand that and take a long view that you can trust, that has a team of people looking out for you. One advisor and an assistant doesn't get the job done. So we have 20-something people, and I'm busy hiring more people. Why? To take care of you with this vision we have for the future. We're going to take a short break. We'll talk more financial stuff when we get back. Winning at Life with Gregory Ricks.
If you've got a you're not quite sure what to do, you better call Gregory.
I'm late in life.
Would I be better to just withdraw the money out of my GSP and pay that mortgage off?
My problem is I have champagne taste in a beer sour. What is a balloon note? I care.
Is there anything better I can do with the money I transferred into the Roth from my 401k? My goal is to retire at age 60. I'm 54 right now.
Hey, I have a 9-year-old son, and he's got probably $2,500 in. Is there anything we can invest it in?
And I just started a 401k a little late in life.
Then that should be like 10%.
Now, how far in advance do you recommend that someone goes to visit the Social Security office?
I want some money in a casino playing poker.
Gregory Ricks and Associates, 504-832-9200 or GregoryRicks.com. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
If you like money, you'll love the Winning at Life app. On the Winning at Life app, you can hear the Ask Gregory podcast, where you'll find episodes based on a financial topic. So if you're looking for help on a specific situation, there's a good chance you'll find it on the Ask Gregory podcast, including episodes on 401ks, taxes, stocks, Social Security, gold, and whether or not you should buy an RV. Hear the Ask Gregory podcast on the Winning at Life app, your wallet's favorite app.
If you like money, you'll love the Winning at Life app. On the Winning at Life app, you can listen to the show live, or you can hear a replay of the latest episode of Winning at Life. Whether you're getting a late start on your retirement savings or keeping up with the financial news, Winning at Life with Gregory Ricks is there on demand. Hear the Winning at Life show on the Winning at Life app, your wallet's favorite app.
Gumbo Nation, you did it again. Thank you. 10 plus years on air, Mortgage Gumbo Dadcam has grown because of your trust in me as your local preferred lender with all your home loan needs. My recent recognition as a national top lender is awesome, but being your local lender is what matters to me and why I'm so thankful. I promise to continue to earn your trust in making your needs my priority. Visit MortgageGumbo.com.
Ask Gregory is a financial podcast from the guys who bring you Winning at Life with Gregory Ricks.
My mother just inherited a couple of annuities. If you could explain the difference between a government pension offset and the windfall elimination provision is.
You now make too much.
Services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
News. I'm Paul Stevens. A planned Mexican Heritage Parade in Chicago's Pilsen neighborhood will go on despite rumors of more ICE enforcement starting this weekend.
There will be spotters in the crowd using cell phones, radios, even whistles. Volunteers have been putting together pamphlets telling people what to do if they encounter any federal agents. They're also handing out whistles so really anyone can sound the alarm.
Fox's Mike Tobin in Chicago. President Trump signing an order to rename the Defense Department the Department of War as it was previously known.
The name change is more about perception. Supporters are suggesting a message about the nation's military might will prevent future battles. The U.S. is looking to deter its adversaries as it ramps up its military presence in the Caribbean with a buildup of 8 Navy destroyers and 10 F-35s.
And that is Fox's Madeline Rivera. America's listening to Fox News.
hopefully the show's been helpful for you today. Maybe a little revealing. Spoke to my wife on one of the earlier breaks, and she said, "You're really going there?" I said, "Yeah, I'm going to tell everything." So hopefully that's, hey, to me it's easy. My family knows the whole story. My friends know. My employees know. Everything. You know, I talk to people that kind of like, that don't want to share, that just want to keep it. Oh, no, I would never tell that or share that. That's sad. You should be open and you should share and you should have the support that helps you with all of that. Here's, you know, I feel really good about things. I feel I'm at a great point. I've got huge vision for what we do for should-be clients. They need help at this level. You need to be able to have